So the Funky Monkey pose is called Funky Monkey because it is a funky entrance and you kind of got to be a little bit of a monkey to get there. So I'm going to show you how to get in, what to do when you're there, how to get out, and then I'm going to show you once more how to get into the pose because it is a little bit complicated and sometimes seeing it more than once makes a big difference. So I'm working here with my partner's left leg. I'm going to bend the knee. I'm going to come right in so my knees are right near her knee. I'm going to hook her foot to the top of my shoulder and grab her heel here. In this way, I can lift her leg really easily. With her leg lifted, I'm going to take my hand to the top of her thigh, and then I'm going to put her leg back down. I'm going to take my right hand, so that's my inside hand, the one that's not under her leg, over to the floor on the other side of the body. Lift my bottom and step my left foot, that's my outside foot, so that the sole is on the floor. I'm in a little bit of a folded lunge here. I'm going to lift and lower her leg a couple times just so she gets used to the idea and we can make sure that this is feeling good for her back. Feeling good for your back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome. You'll want to be able to lift the leg high enough that you can imagine your thigh underneath it. So that's where we're going next. I'm going to press into my left foot, my right hand, and I'm going to slide my right leg underneath. Now at this point, I come into deer pose and extend her leg out over my lap. Some of you may find it more comfortable to stretch your leg straight out. Just make sure your partner's knee is okay. So right now you can see when I bend her knee that her knee is not being pressed on by my leg. This is really important because we don't want to hyperextend the leg as we do forearm rolls here. So I'm going to take my forearms so that one is above and one is below the knee. Lean in and roll. Move my arms up, bend down a little bit, lean in and roll. Moving away from the knee as I do this. After a few times of forearm rolling here on the back of the leg, great way to open up the hamstrings and the calves. I'm going to forearm roll into the bottom. Now you'll notice that there are bony parts of the bottom and fleshy parts. Your forearm fits really nicely into the space between the top of the femur and the sacrum. And these are the fleshy parts. So all I'm doing here is leaning in, rolling my arm. Leaning in, palm down, turn my palm up. And then I move my arm a little bit and do it again. After some nice forearm rolls on the bottom, I come back down to forearm rolling on the leg. And then I'm ready to exit. And really you can spend as much time as you'd like here. We all need work here, and this is a really easy way for the giver to do this work for your receiver. And it always feels so good. So I'm going to bend her leg. I'm going to take her foot again towards my shoulder, and I'm going to hold on to her heel. That's what it's called. I'm going to lift the leg a little bit. Take that left hand underneath her thigh again. And I'm going to reverse exactly what I did before from that same position. Right hand on the floor, left foot on the floor, press into hand and foot. Lift the leg, remove my leg. Release her leg down and stretch it out. So let me show you that entrance and exit again, because that's the hardest part of this pose. Bend the knee, come on in nice and close. Lift the leg, taking my outside hand underneath her thigh. Inside hand goes to the floor on the other side of her body. Outside foot, sole to the floor. Lifting and lowering her leg a couple times. I'm used to this. And then when I lift that leg, I'm going to now slide my inside leg underneath. I want to get up as high on her thigh as I can. Coming into deer and stretching her leg out. To reverse that, bend the knee. Find her thigh with that outside hand, inside hand to the floor, outside sole to the floor. Press down to lift up, extricate your body, and stretch the leg out. I recommend practicing that entrance and exit quite a few times before you spend a whole lot of time in this pose, because that is the hardest part. It's the most awkward part. Always best done, that practice, with someone with a healthy back. Because as you noticed, I lifted that leg quite high, and that made quite a big back bend in her back. So you want to make sure your partner's back is healthy and happy above all else.